This is differential equations, activity 372. And in this situation, we have this coefficient matrix for differential equations. And so for part A, we're going to find the trace and the determinant. So the trace is equal to, you add the diagonal entries, so it's 2 times alpha. The determinant is alpha times alpha minus beta times 1, alpha squared minus beta. Okay, so then calculate 2 squared equals 4d. Well, you can substitute and you get 4 alpha squared equals 4 alpha squared minus 4 beta. Well, subtract those from both sides and divide by 4, and you get beta equals 0. So in our trace determinant plane, this line right here is when beta equals 0. Okay. Then, let's see. Now, part C, for what values of alpha and beta is the origin? A sink, spiral source, center. What values of alpha and beta is in a nodal sink, a nodal source, a saddle? And you know what? Let's go to Desmos. So here, I've created a Desmos that recreates the picture from page 185, but I have some colors too. And I put in the trace is 2 alpha, the determinant is alpha squared minus beta, and we're doing the trace determinant plane, so trace is x, determinant's y. And so then if I move alpha around, it does that. If I move beta around, it does that. So we just got to keep track of everything that's going on. So let's start off at 0, 0. That's a boring one, so it doesn't even have like a name. Because you send the determinant's always 0, nothing moves. That's boring. Okay, so if beta is negative and alpha is 0, we have a center. If beta is negative and alpha is positive, we have a spiral source. And then look at how it just kind of matches the parabola. And then if beta is negative and alpha is negative, we have a spiral sink. And then if beta is 0 and alpha is positive, we have a source, an unstable line. Oh, beta's got to be 0. And if beta is 0 and alpha is negative, we have a sink, a stable line. And then if beta is positive and alpha is over here, we have a nodal sink, and then it can be a saddle or a nodal source depending on alpha. Okay, so where's the crossover point? Well, the crossover point is when our point has positive or negative y value. So when alpha is positive and this number is positive, meaning alpha squared is greater than beta, then we have a nodal source. And when alpha squared is less than beta, doesn't matter if alpha is positive or negative, it's a saddle. And when alpha is negative and alpha squared is greater than beta, we have a nodal sink. Okay, so let's write all of those things down that I just said. So let's go back to this. And so some of the things I said were, if beta equals 0, if beta equals 0, and let's see, hold on, I need to go back. There was one question I had. So if beta equals 0, then its source is source unstable line or sink stable line. Okay, so beta equals 0, alpha greater than 0 means we have a source unstable line. And beta equals 0, and alpha less than 0, we have a sink, a stable line. And then if beta is less than 0, if you recall from the video, you can check out Desmos. I'll have the link if you've forgotten. Beta is less than 0. Then we went up into the parabola. So then alpha equals 0 was the center, and beta less than 0, and alpha greater than 0. That gave us a spiral source. And beta less than 0, alpha less than 0, that gave us a spiral sink. And then beta greater than 0 and alpha greater than 0 and alpha squared greater than beta gave us a nodal source. And beta greater than 0 and alpha less than 0 and alpha squared greater than beta gave us a nodal sink. And beta greater than 0, alpha squared less than beta gave us a saddle. Okay, sorry, you can't see the last part of that. Okay, so what you got to do then is we're going to graph this in the alpha beta plane, which means alpha is x and beta is y when we graph it. You can't see that. Okay, so in the alpha beta plane, alpha is x, beta is y. So then take all of these and translate them into, these are y values, these are x values, put those into Desmos. So that's what we'll do. And let's see. So I did this here in part 2. And so here, I graphed these different sets of inequalities, and I got a nodal source, spiral source, center, spiral sink, sink unstable line, source. Oh, I need to, sink is a stable line. Let's fix that. Sink is a stable line. So nodal sink, spiral source. Here's a center. So notice that here, center means it's kind of going around and around and around. And if you, where beta is greater than 0, because, sorry, when alpha is greater than 0, because alpha beta plane, so alpha is x. So when alpha is greater than 0, you're moving away from the origin. When alpha is less than 0, everything's sinking in different ways. So it could be spiral sinking, sink stable line, or nodal sink. And then right in here, in this area, this is where you have a saddle. Okay, so that's graphing all the possible ones. And if you would like to use Desmos for your homework, if you don't like drawing graphs by hand, then make sure that you share the graph and export as an image. And then, let's see, let's make this a large rectangle perhaps. And then let's download the PNG file and put it in your document, in your homework document. That is the easiest way for me to grade it for sure. Okay. All right. And I'll leave these Desmos graphs on online for you. All right. Have fun doing the homework.